Like there, he's already anticipating. When he anticipates, I push him more sideways and I keep the contact steady. And then I close my leg and ask. Because the problem with anticipating is that when he anticipates the walk to canter transition, he doesn't correctly engage the hind leg and take the weight behind. Hello everyone, in this video we are talking about what to do when your horse anticipates. Little Mercurio here, sometimes he can start to anticipate. It's important to know that it's not always a bad thing, horses that anticipate, because it's a sign that they're excited and that they're eager and that they're listening and that they're willing. So personally, I would rather have a horse that gets a little hot and wants to anticipate over a horse that's like lazy and dull and you're just having to, kick them and constantly try to motivate them. But that said, it's also really important that when your horse starts to anticipate, that you have some techniques to help you out so that you don't end up getting frustrated, and also that you figure out how to kind of turn the energy level back down for your horse. Because like with Mercurio, he can get more and more wound up. And so when I feel him starting to get wound up and starting to anticipate, I have to a little bit change my approach and change my energy level to help him out. So the first thing, he's not super hot yet today, but the first thing and probably the hardest thing for him is the walk when he starts to anticipate. And so it's a balance of like insisting that he walks, but then also allowing him to go forward, because the more that you hold your horse back, the hotter they'll get. Now, what I do for him when he starts to anticipate at the walk is the first thing is that I think about my slowing down the rhythm of the walk. So I want to think about making him walk so slowly that he's almost just taking one step at a time. The way I do this is I hold my tummy tight. So like, how normally at a walk, like you're following the walk rhythm. But when your horse starts to anticipate and want to jig, what you want to do is you want to hold your tummy a little bit tighter. And then to slow down the rhythm, I push him a little sideways. So I actually close my inside leg, and I don't want him to go faster there. I want him to move a little bit sideways, so it's kind of like I'm keeping him in a little bit of a leg yield. This does two things. The first thing is that it slows him a little bit down, and the second thing is that it helps to engage that inside hind leg. Good boy. So slow your body down, put your horse in a little shoulder in, and then focus on the contact. With Mercurio, he sometimes likes to either curl or go too much above the contact. So the more that I can focus on just keeping a nice steady contact, the better. Good boy. Now I'm going to go up to the trot. Boy. And I'm going to practice a couple of trot-canter transition. This is another place that sometimes he likes to anticipate. So if you have a horse that anticipates, it's important that your leg position is already a little bit where it should be. So if you'll notice here on the trot circle, my outside leg is slightly behind the girth and my inside leg is slightly at the girth. What you don't want to do is you don't want to take your leg completely off, because if you take your leg completely off, then when you ask for the transition, it's going to surprise your horse. So even if he starts anticipating the canter transition, I'm just keeping my legs slightly in that position. I'm not going to take my leg off just because he's anticipating. Boy. And you'll also notice that I'm staying on circles and bending lines. The worst thing you can do when your horse anticipates is let them get straight and just go down the long side. So keep your horse on a circle, keep your horse on a bending line, and then make sure as you're riding your transitions that you take enough time between each transition to get your horse to settle. So here I'm really keeping him in shoulder in on the circle line, and I'm waiting for him to settle. My legs are in position the whole time. So I'm never taking my leg completely off. I'm always keeping my leg draped around him like a wet washcloth. Good boy. Boy. Now where Mercurio anticipates a lot sometimes is the WalkCanner transition. So again, I think about shoulder fore positioning. I have my legs like there, he's already anticipating. When he anticipates, I push him more sideways and I keep the contact steady. And then I close my leg and ask. Because the problem with anticipating is that when he anticipates the walk to canter transition, he doesn't correctly engage the hind leg and take the weight behind. So shoulder in. And the best thing to do is to really push your horse sideways, because what you don't want to do is when your horse jigs, if you take your leg off every time your horse jigs or anticipates, then you're just teaching your horse to jig and anticipate. Because if every time they jig, your leg comes off, then they think, oh, that's what they want. So when he starts to anticipate, I make it harder for him by pushing him a little bit in shoulder in. Boy. I'm gonna go do the same thing the other way. And another thing I do a lot with him is like little turns on the haunches or leg yields, anything like that where he has to let me apply my legs. Good boy. And I really focus on this walk, because the second he starts rushing in the walk, he gets himself hotter and hotter. So I know this walk probably seems a little bit too slow, but this is what I need so that he waits and he doesn't start jigging. Good boy. The other little trick that I use when he starts anticipating is I really think about breathing. I think about kind of slowing down my body language and reducing my energy levels. But if I have a horse that's lazy, I have to increase my energy level to increase the horse's energy level. If I have a horse that's hot and anticipating, I have to chill out. I have to breathe to get the horse to chill out and breathe. Boy. And shoulder in. Good. Canter. Boy. So it's super important the way you ride your horse can either make the anticipation worse or it can make the anticipation better. Boy. The best thing to do, let me do that canter walk one more time, because to improve that canter walk, I need to put him in more shoulder fore, and I need to be a little more clear with my half halts. I need to think halt walk. Shoulder fore, canter. Good boy. Breathe. He has to wait and stay slow. Boy, good boy. So I hope this gives you some tips. Let me know in the comments what breed of horse you have. I feel like some breeds definitely anticipate more than others. But like I said, it can be a good thing because they're like super eager and ready to do the next movement. It's just important that they understand they can anticipate, but they have to wait, and they also have to allow you to put on the aids, because if you can't apply a leg aid or if you can't apply a rein aid, then you're not going to be able to be effective. So I hope this video gives you some tips. Check out the description box. There's a free mini course on rider position that I know is going to help you because your position is super important when your horse starts to anticipate. And don't forget to subscribe. I post a new video every single Wednesday to help you out with riding your horse. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.